Good evening. Matt Kovacic here,
And I'm Justin Hop.
Dirt Track Central, and we're joined tonight with Dustin Forsberg on Skype as well. He's co-hosting with us. Say hi.
Yo.
Good deal. We'll also be talking to Jay Neal at BSB here later on tonight. Have him talk a little bit about their products and how they can help you get better traction at the racetrack. And we'll also be talking to Mike Nichols here later on. So, but first of all, I think we'll go right into our video of the week. Correct?
Okay. Yep.
Right.
We might just also let you know that you can also call in our voicemail line, send text messages, send us emails, questions about the shows, something you want to talk about, stuff. Our phone number is 785-201-9188. And I think we also want to thank all of our sponsors for the show. And our sponsors are Engine Quest, Extreme Motorsports, VP Racing Fuels out of Heartland, BMS Modifieds, and BSB Manufacturing, and Contour Cameras too. So we'll start off with our video of the week, and
that's going to be the IMCA stock cars racing at Wakeeney Speedway this past Sunday. Had lots of lead changes and side-by-side racing, but we'll show you that. So. If you guys remember from last week, our picks of the week, Justin picked the number 19, Terry Cunningham. He's in the yellow car there, number 19. I picked 737, which is Nick Tubbs, black Spider-Man car there, clear at the back.
Yeah, both our cars starting at the back.
Yeah, doesn't look like we picked very well right now, but things will change.
There are a lot of 2 and 3 wide racing there in the stock car racing.
Looks like Cunningham's killing Tubbs right now.
We also did have in-car cameras on both Nick Tubbs and Jeff Tubbs in this race too, so they're up on our YouTube channel too. So if you want to see the race from a different perspective, check that out.
What a difference a body and a wrap can make, because that 737 car, Tubbs has been through the ringer. That's the same car as last year, and I don't know how many other years in the past for him, and how many other people had it before him, but probably should have been totaled last year when it got rear-ended so hard, and they just pulled it back out. Kept racing it. Now he's got a new body and wrap on the same old dog. I think it's, I don't know, the chassis was built somewhere in the 90s, he said, so it's been around. Still seems to work okay, though. Right now, the 76, Jason Davis, is leading the field around, followed by the 19, Terry Cunningham. Then you see the 60 there of Wayland, 4th place. That 444, he won that first race out there at Wakeeney. Well, what do they call it? Wheat Lippelman, yeah. I'm trying to think of what they called that race.
Oh.
Spring Fling, I guess they did call it. That's a car that he built. Seems to do pretty darn well. And now you see the Tubbs brothers racing side by side there, 37X on the outside. It's Jeff Tubbs, 737 and Nick on the bottom. 51W right behind him is BJ Wagner.
Yep, looks like Cunningham's made his way up there to make his move.
Yeah.
Spin him out.
Yeah. Give him a little bumper.
Not gonna get her done yet.
Is that Jason Davis guy had the same car for about, what, 9 years now?
I'm not sure if that's the same one. He's got a couple of cars, but
yeah, they always look the same.
It could be, yeah.
A little.
Because I think it says Prowler on there now, and he used to run a Dart car, so I don't know. That's not bad racing there.
Yeah.
So from last place, Hops picked the number 19's up to the lead, and clear in the back. Nick Tubbs is up to 3rd. Little sprint car move there. White flag, can we get him? There we go, side by side finish with our 2 picks.
Yeah. So yeah, we couldn't have picked a much better than that, I guess.
No.
The only way it could have been is that we would have swapped places, but I think I was pretty happy with my picks. So.
That is true. Well, those are both solid picks week in and week out there. So I don't know. We need to go back and tally up our picks. I don't even remember some of them, so we need to do a better job of
keeping track of them. We'll write them down in the
that.
document when we do them each time. That way we kind of got something to go back on and tally them up. I know I kind of messed up because we picked some guys that didn't even show up, so maybe I made up for it the last two ones, pulling out wins both times. So.
Yeah.
I think maybe we should get a little bonus too if our guy actually wins more than the normal or something. So.
That's not the way IMCA does it.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Well, we want to go ahead and thank Engine Quest again at this time, presenting sponsor of Dirt Track Central. If you're needing help with cylinder heads or just your combination, they're experts in the IMCA stuff, I would venture to say, and have a lot of guys out there very successful running a combination that Eric helped them put together. So give Eric a call, or have your engine builder give Eric a call, and they can hook you up with a local dealer and tell you what parts to put together to make her go. I think we've got some results from this past weekend to go through. I've also got some of the area points. Till you get a few races under your belts, I don't know that the points are really much worth looking at, but Wakeeney's got 3 races
they've got
now.
quite a few in the beginning of the season. They put them quite a few up already.
So they're getting to the point where they're kind of worth looking at here. I don't know if you want to look at points first or look at the results. Did you have slides on the results?
I do.
Okay.
You want to let's go ahead and start with Salina. I got them up first there. So.
All right, the mini stocks, the 50C, Eric Unruh, 21 of Brandon Thiessen, 31 Double D of Dallas Dunn, 72 of Tracy Montague, and the 8R of Randy Rice. That is a mixed front wheel, rear wheel drive class, and looks like there's only one rear wheel drive there in the top 5, if memory serves me correct. Was it a pretty good race, or I wasn't there for that?
I kind of missed that one there too, so I was running around putting cameras on. So,
well, it looks like that the thought in all the racers' mind was that the front wheel drives weren't going to be able to keep up, and it doesn't seem to be the case. They're racing right in there together, and it's not 2 distinct packs anyway. So, moving on to the hobby stock. Speaking of 2 distinct packs, the pack was the leader, and then everyone else. Robbie Marsh and the Big Johnson hobby stock showed him the way around.
Yeah.
Followed by Rick Slothauer in the 88P of Pete Beaumont. He's been consistent this year at Salina. And Brian Stitch, that guy's, you never know where he's going to show up. He's from about 5 miles from the Mayetta track, I think he told me. I talked to him out at Wakeeney, and doesn't plan to race there this year, but he's racing everywhere else, chasing state points. So never know where he might turn up. I think he went to Norton last week, and Wakeeney, Salina. So putting on the miles. So Tyler Fry in the SportMods goes out, and followed by Brian LaRiviere, Jesse Levine, Matt Crowell, and Fred Truskowski. Fry goes out and wins on Friday, and totals are out on Saturday. And I guess that's part of the news section. I just blew half our news, but totals it out on Saturday, and is now thrashing to get a new race car on the track this weekend. So moving on to the stock cars, 63C Austin Carter, congratulations on the first stock car feature win, followed by Justin Murdoch, Scott Granzella, Corey Struckoff, and Shelby Stinson, teammates 4 and 5 there. So and Shelby, I don't know how long it's been since he's been in a race car, but it's been a day or two.
Yep.
Moving on to the modifieds, Joe Cleveland takes home the win. followed by the 24, Corey Legrune, Danny Morrison Jr., Brandon Blocklinger, and Barry Maupin. 4 out of 5 are BMS cars.
Yeah.
And the late model division, almost forgot about those. Number 9 of Joseph Gorby, 92 Delbert Smith in second, Tyler Bradshaw in third, Kelly Dunn and Justin Kinnerconnect round out the top 5.
Yeah. And now we'll move on to Wakeeney, and the results there. We'll start off with the hobby stocks, and number 10 Cody Graham picked up the win there, followed up by Jeremy Wagner, then Tyrell Smith, Jacob Crowell, and Cody Gum. In the sport mods, Mike Waddle, man, he was hitting the berm what little there was there, and just kind of put it on him there. So he was
He drove just kind of enough different of a line than
Yeah.
anybody else that found something that wasn't there for anybody else, and checked out. Mike's won several high MCA stock car races and track championship or 2, I think, but hadn't won a sport mod feature yet. Moving into the sport mod class just this year, the new Rage chassis. So, congratulations to him on that.
Yep. And let's see, I think, then it was followed up by Willie Wynn, and Brian Liviere finished 4th, and Justin Dietz. Dietz.
Yep.
And
Wakeeney.
I guess we'll kind of have some footage of that later too. That was actually our big crash of the week. We'll see later, and there was quite a few cars caught up in that, and
Might be the bonehead too. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not sure who's it belongs to, but you can be the judge later when we watch the video.
We got a couple different shots in that too. So we'll go on to the stock cars, which we just saw that race, so kind of everybody knows that one. But it was Terry Cunningham taking on the win, followed up by Nick Tubbs, Jason Davis, Wheat Whippleman, and B.J. Wagner. Then got the modifieds, and Kyle Roletter picked up the win there. He looked pretty good, and he ran a good race out there, and Roger maybe started challenging him a little bit, but didn't have enough for him.
It wasn't a bad race though. I mean, Roger Peck was right there, and that Michael Martin had a heck of a run, and he got a run on the bottom a few times on Roger, and they ran side by side laps, and
they both
that feature again is on our YouTube account. You'll have to check it out, but not a bad race up front there. I really kind of expected, with as slick as it was, I expected Randy Wilson starting up front to kind of stay there and be the man, but just, I don't know. Had a few get around him and still looked good out there, had a good race, but
you want to go ahead and read some of the points there off from Wakeeney now after that race?
Wakeeney's track points after these last 3 races here. Marty Clark in the 8-ball, 110 points. Corey Legrune, Dylan Smith, Roger Peck, and Travis Sherfick are your top 5 in points in the modified division. Clay Sellard sits on top of the sport mod division, followed by Trent Cleveno, Blaine Walt, Justin Dietz, and Brian Connis. Man, been some tight racing in that class already this year too. Nick Tubbs is sitting on top of the points in the stock car division, followed by Terry Cunningham, Wheat Lippelman, B.J. Wagner, and Jason Davis. And I did see a comment come across that Jason Davis's car, his old car, the one that's been run forever, had a green body, and this one was new last year. So that's the scoop there, I guess. Cody Gum sitting on top of the points in the hobby stocks. Austin Taman, Cody Graham, Jason McIntyre, and Ron Whaling holding out in that 5th spot even after DNF here this weekend. And I didn't make it over to see how bad the car was tore up. Missing the skin off the nose, but whole side of it, I guess. But hopefully not too bad. And that was a brand new car this year, and his first year in the class, so doing an awesome job there. let's see. I've also got IMCA state points in the modifieds. Corey LeGrune, 147. Nate Moore, 130 points, followed by Roger Peck, Travis Sherfick, and Jerry Teal are the top 5 there. Austin Carter with a 20-point lead in the state stock car points, followed by Wheat Lippelman, Terry Cunningham, Nick Tubbs, and Jason Davis. And Tyler Watts is sitting on top of the IMCA SportMod division state points, followed by Trent Cleveno, Brian Connis, Corey Struckoff, and Clay Sellard. And in the hobbies, Cody Williams and Brian Stitch. I know both of those guys they're aiming for a state championship, so those guys are sitting on top of it. Ron Whaling, even after a bad night there, he's still just 1 point behind Brian Stitch in state points, followed by Cody Graham and Jason McIntyre. And the only one that I guess enough guys that I recognize names for us to report on as far as national points. Brian Lariviere, last year's IMCA national champion, sitting in first place in the national points, which national points right now really mean less than the state points or the track points. It always tops out and comes down to bonus points and all that good stuff. But Brian's he's in the hunt there, leading the national stock car points, followed by Racer Holland, Clay Sellard in third, Jesse Sobbing in fourth, and Tracy Wassenberg in fifth. So
okay, good.
That's the point stack up for now. We'll talk to Mike Nichols later. He's kind of the expert on points, so hopefully when it comes down to things getting close later on in the season, maybe we can have him back, and he can go through all the possible scenarios of what happens here, there, and everywhere, and how that affects the national points when it comes right down to it. So be an interesting guy to have on later.
Yeah.
The race that I attended on Friday was Valley Speedway. They had the USMTS there. Had a dirt adrenaline event up in Kansas City for the NASCAR race, and so I cruised over and watched some dirt track racing while I was there. That video as well is on our website. 19R, Ryan Gustin kind of showed them how it was done. They started 27 modifieds in that feature, and when the first caution came out, he was up to, well, it may not have been the first caution, but it was a late caution. He was lapping the 10th place car when that caution came out, so lapped about 17 cars on the field, followed by the Rodney Sanders in the 20, the 9 of Ken Schrader, Kelly Sharrock, and Stormy Scott. So that was an excellent race, and probably another one that we possibly could have viewed as a race of the week. Definitely worth getting on our YouTube and checking that one out. So.
Yep, sure thing. I think it's time kind of for our news section here. And now what we got for news is that Knoxville race up there I'm not sure, they're just calling it the Hobby Stock Modified Sport Mod and Stock Car Shootout.
Yeah.
Was rained out this last weekend, and they're rescheduling it. And they postponed it till May 6th. Is when that is there. So, and in other news, I guess Tyler Fry, we kind of mentioned it earlier, went up to McCool Junction, the race up there, and I don't know, do you know if it was in the heat race or the feature?
I believe it was in the feature. He was up to the lead, and
I was leading it, huh?
Steering box locked up and hit the wall, climbed it, and endoed the car.
Yeah, that was kind of a weird wreck. There's some video of it. It wasn't that great, but he kind of got it into the wall, and somehow it caught and flipped him.
Yeah, they said it was bent all the way around, and so
Looks like
scrap.
he's getting a new car built up and supposed to have it ready for tomorrow. So
Yeah. The last I heard, well, I talked to Eric, and Eric said he had talked to Tyler, and they were pushing probably too hard, but they were pushing hard to get that thing back on the track this weekend. And good luck to those guys on that. I haven't gotten to talk to him to see who's all making that possible, but I'm sure there's a lot of a lot of people behind him making that possible for this
it's
week.
going to take a lot of people. Yep, so.
Also, we had talked to Pat Johnson from Jetmore Motorplex this past week about his show coming up, and they have gone ahead and postponed that race as well, with the possibility of some slight chances of rain, but there's also, he said, possibility of like 30-degree weather, wind chills, and all that good stuff, and so just wasn't going to be pleasant for the fans or the racers or anybody. So they're putting that off till later in the season, sometime in July, I believe. I don't have that date right here in front of me, but
we'll
check their Facebook, and I know it's up there and on their website. So
and as
the GreatAmericanDirtTrack.com is where you can find
And as it gets
that.
closer, we'll definitely talk about it again. So
Yeah. Maybe I won't be going out of town. Kind of looks like the race I was planning on for Friday is going to be. Might get snow in Minnesota, so might not be going to see a race. But there's a 2,000 to win Wissota late models, and they've got all the other Wissota classes competing, and not something us guys down here are all that familiar with. But we're going to go check them out.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Might not get that chance now. Any other news that you know of?
No.
What's the big news, Dustin? You know anything?
It's gonna rain tomorrow.
Is it?
It's going to rain tomorrow. Okay.
Yep. Cross your fingers. Cross your fingers.
Well, hoping for good weather for a road trip, huh?
Yeah. Good sleeping anyway, on a road trip.
There you go. Well.
Oh, there's a mod light race Saturday in Beloit.
Beloit.
Yeah. I learned that just a little bit ago.
Wow.
Apparently
Wow. How do you
not follow.
That's bad when the mod light racer doesn't know there's a mod light race, much less the fans. So if you're a local race fan and you don't have anywhere else to go, or you want to go see some mini sprints and mod lights, Beloit's going to be the place to be, sounds like. And I don't know. The weather forecast doesn't look great for any place this weekend, so there might not be any of them, but that might be another option. I guess keep that in mind. We'll go ahead and go through some photos of the week. I have to apologize. I had a couple of photos picked for last week. We didn't get those up on Facebook, so last week's and this week's are up under show number 5. They're all eligible to be voted for next week. We'll go ahead and review the past week's photos again and show you the winner, and then we'll talk about the upcoming ones. This is out at RPM Speedway. Tyler Tipton in the 95 on the outside, 24M Justin Murdoch on the bottom. You can see the nose there, the 45 of Mike Kennedy. So I guess that's the one that I shot according to the watermark. There's Mr. Dustin Forsberg himself in the 3G Mod Light. That one there is shot by Mike Pfeiffer, Dirt Track Devils, and the whole photo is there. We just got it kind of cropped down for you.
Yeah, it didn't fit in this real great. So
it's a nice photo of a good-looking car.
Yep, I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, that one didn't fit in there so hot either.
Depends on the size of the photo where she fits in.
I'm not sure how I got 2 entries. Oh, Tyler Tipton requested that we enter the stock car photo, And the other photo of the week there that you saw was modifieds out at Wakeeney. And the modified photo actually was the winner, correct?
Yep, I think so.
So Travis Sherfick and Corey Lagroon, and I tripped over Dave's name in the 7.
Smith?
I want to say it's Dave Smith, but I'm not. I could be wrong. So.
Maybe somebody in the chat room will correct us like normal too.
Yeah.
So
Peanut butter will come out with it, for sure.
So.
All right. So we'll go ahead and preview the photos for eligible for voting this coming week.
This one here was actually taken by buddy Nick Dave with Dave's Photo Hut.
He's back.
Yeah, he's back.
It's a nice looking car.
Yeah, it is very clean looking, and he got a good shot of it here. And Dave got a lot of shots up from this last weekend, so you can go over to his website, davesphotohut.com, and look at all of his pictures, and they're up for sale too. So he sent this one in here, and so if you like it up on Facebook. Got another one here. This one here looks like AJ Scott. Man, he had a pretty flashy car compared to what he normally had. Always real clean looking car with vinyl, and he went with a wrap this time. It's pretty flashy and pretty nice looking. I like it.
This cars look like a party.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, one of them looks like a skull party, and the other one just looks like a party.
There you go. And you know, did Mike take that one, or?
I would guess so.
Okay.
I don't think that David was there, but
one of the Dirt Track Devil photographers took it.
yeah.
And then we had somebody else send one in here too.
Amy
Colster?
Coaster.
Coaster.
Yeah. From Minnesota.
And it's a picture of Jesse Olson.
He's the medieval stock car builder, so up at Lansing, Minnesota. Shoto Speedway, I think. So if that's how you say it, but looks like a pretty banked track there.
Yeah.
Another one we haven't gotten to see yet.
Yes. I think that's all I got. Did you have one? Did you ever pick one out? Or did you send
well, I thought I stuck one in the drop box, but
yeah. I may have been after I looked real quick here. Let's see if I can find it real quick here. This one?
there we go.
There we go. Right up here. Oops. There we go.
That one there is Jeff Tubbs' new medieval car on the bottom, and 51W up above him is BJ Wagner. I think those guys are pulling around the state together this year. Looked like this week anyway. They had a big double trailer.
This
so.
was taken at Wakeeney, right?
This was at Wakeeney, yep, this past Sunday, and Jeff had been racing his old car up until now, and got his new one out. Looks good. So go to Facebook, check them out, vote on them, tell us which one you like. Peanut Butter says that Robbie Marsh is planning to run Salina for points this year, and he'll be back this week. So.
Oh boy, that's not good. He was hammered down, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Not good.
Yep.
All right. Well, we still don't have any voicemails or text messages or emails that I know of.
Yep. Go ahead.
Hey, is Armstrong racing for points in Salina? Probably not. I guess he missed the
race.
first week.
He missed the race, yeah.
Roy showed up, but he didn't. I'm not sure why that happened, but that wasn't actually a points race then, was it, though, too? That was the special.
Yeah, I guess that was the first. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the special, and then last week was the first night for points. He didn't show up, so let's see him there. Where are we at here?
I think we're going to go check out the crash of the week
Oh, okay.
in Wakeeney. the sport mods.
I guess I should have been getting ready then. Might tell
I
a little
think
bit.
I think Armstrong was holding out for Beatrice to start up there, so race for points there, and Mayetta was the original thought, I think. So he said it kind of depended on car count. All right, we're out at Wakeeney Speedway here. Going to check out the IMCA Northern Sport Mods. Their first start was a little bit ugly on the first lap, so I'm going to go ahead and take a look at that. Then we've got a couple of other views that we can look at and see what you think.
Yeah, they're trying to go 3 wide.
Yeah, they're 3 wide,
Oh.
2 deep, 3, 4 deep. Ouch!
Not enough room, and then they just keep on stacking up.
Yeah, when I first saw that, I was down in 2, and I saw the first pile, or what would be the last pile there with Sellard and on back. And I got looking more, and oh crap, there's another pile. And look a little further ahead, and there's another pile.
And there's more off the backside off there
And
too.
there's more off the back.
I think it did take out half the field. So here's again in slow motion, kind of see. Maybe we'll come a little bit more. Looked like started off with just a wheel hop there
Holy
between
cow.
Riviere and Heim, and
That Dietz went airborne. That is crazy there. You can see Cleveno and Money, and then Watts is in the middle there, and you can't even see that he's
yeah, he did
completely
get up there pretty
smashed in there. Can't even tell he's there hardly.
good. Yeah, but I think there was 8 or 9 cars that actually came to a stop. Now most of them did get back underway and fixed up. Even the Riviere had some drag link stuff tore up and some
Yeah.
other stuff, but there was plenty of time to try to clean that mess up. That
Yeah, they had to unhook a couple of piles, and so if you were loose from the pile, you got a chance to work on your car. Cleveno was kind of one of the last ones to get off the track, and he still was able to get in and get his body panels drilled off, and he didn't make it back into the lineup to get his spot, but he did start scratch on the field and ended up coming right back up through there and finished I think 6th or 7th or something like that.
got another video here too.
Another one of the views is from
Oops, not there. This one might not be full centered, but you should be able to see her here. It's not full screen.
okay, that one's off of Blaine Walt's car. You can hear the telltale sign that it's a GoPro.
Nice jab.
But he's got a pretty good picture over here. It happens right in front of him. And here they get a little tight.
Ouch.
Whoa.
Stop it before the explicit language starts.
I didn't even notice that before.
Yeah. He says, "Are you okay?" Then he says a few other things that we shouldn't repeat. A rough ride. But, here's yet another GoPro footage off of Chris Heim's car. So he was down there in the kind of the bottom part of this deal. So. See the father and son apples there in front of him. Ooh!
Wow.
And here comes another one.
Yeah.
Hunt didn't end up coming out too bad on that deal, though. It looked like he was going to get hooked up with Walt. Nothing to it.
Yep.
So, is there anybody expressing their opinions on the site here? Don't see anything. What do you think, Mr. Forsberg?
I don't know. It's pretty quick to be 3 wide in that track.
Yeah, I think they just all tried to get in two spots. 3 cars tried to get in 2 spots and just got tight. And Lervier was pinched between 2 of them, and he had to hit somebody, I guess. And yeah, when he did, he wheel hopped it. And if he wouldn't have wheel hopped it, and they would have just bumped and brushed the prop. All right, once he wheel hopped it, it shot him back both the other way. And stuff starts happening.
Kind of interesting that the different views. In that one, you can see Lervier getting off the ground from that first wheel hop, and I don't know if they did more than once there or what, but Dietz went for a fly for sure with your view from the stands. But yeah, he got made the ping pong ball of between those 2 guys, and a little out of control. But they got them all lined back up, and I don't remember them having any more cautions after that, but they sure had a good race following that. Did Mike Wadle checked out from the front row, but
hi guys.
He was quick. So hello.
Hey.
We have I didn't even get to introduce you. I didn't realize he was calling you.
Yeah, I was just getting you queued up here.
So we're joined now by Mike Nichols, driver of the number 63 medieval stock car. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Thank you. Yeah, it's good that you're having me.
Yeah. Sorry to take time out of your load up night. I don't know. Looking at the weather, I'm not sure if you're wasting your time loading the car or not. But
It does kind of look like that. It looks like we were just talking about that. It looks like a pretty good chance of rain all weekend. So, but that's not a bad thing. You know, a guy needs a little break every now and then.
Definitely. What's your plans for this weekend?
Well, we had planned on running Des Moines on Friday nights all year, and I don't know if we're going to continue with that or not. I was kind of hoping the weather would just play out a certain direction and guide us where we needed to race tomorrow night, and then kind of guide us throughout the rest of the year. But Saturday nights and Sunday nights, I think we're going to make the venture out west. I've run Lexington, Nebraska the last few years, and I think we're going to implement North Platte with that this year. And then on the off nights from that, they run kind of a partial schedule, which is it's really nice because you don't get married to a track per se like you do here in Iowa, and we're able to run Harlan, which is not very far from where I live, on the off Saturday nights. So it'd be kind of neat. That the way the IMCA points work, as you guys very well know, the car count dictates a lot, and I think the car count at North Platte is going to be quite a bit better than it is in Harlan.
Yeah, that's kind of the good, bad, and the evil of points racing, and as I've become more and more of a fan, that's one of the things that's continued to I guess make me more of a fan is following that and the excitement of it and how that all goes. But a lot of fans don't understand how that system works, and we talked earlier that we'd like to have you on again later in the season, maybe when those battles are getting closer, because I don't think there's a bigger expert in the country other than, and probably more so you than IMCA themselves in some situations. But it's always fun to talk to you and run into you at the track late in the season, because I don't know that you can help but keep that out of your head. You seem to know what the possible scenarios are and how it may or may not play out, and that's always fun to hear about. So we may have to have you on and talk about that as the battles tighten up at the end of the season, as they always do. So,
Yeah.
are you? I guess we just have to assume that Mike Nichols is still chasing national points as you have in several years past.
Yeah, and actually something bad has happened, and that is my brother has been diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease, or ALS, and this happened over the winter. And if you're not familiar with the disease, which I wasn't, now I've read about everything that you can up on it. But the disease basically it affects the way your brain communicates with the muscles and the rest of your body, and it gradually deteriorates that ability, and eventually leaving paralysis and then death. Eventually your brain can't tell your lungs to breathe. So it's pretty much the worst thing imaginable. And yeah, unfortunately, my brother was diagnosed with this disease. Disease has been around for 100 years or more that they know of, and even still today, there's very little treatment and no cure for it. So what I wanted to do is, it kind of leaves you with a feeling of helplessness. And what I wanted to do was try to help raise some money for ALS research. And in doing that, we decided to do our T-shirts this year, and I sold some advertising on our shirts. And through the advertising on the shirts, we were able to purchase X amount of shirts, and those shirts will be sold for $20 each. It's basically our race shirts this year. And through selling that money, then what I'm going to end up doing is donating some money to the ALS chapters towards finding a cure. And kind of a cool deal. And it's amazing the racing family. When you have something like that come up, everybody comes together and sympathizes and works together at getting the task done. So it's pretty amazing and overwhelming. The results that we've seen so far. We just started selling shirts here about a week ago, and we've already sold over 100 shirts. So kind of excited to be selling them throughout the summer.
Yeah, that's great. It's going to a good cause. How can people get a hold of you if you want to buy them, if they're not going to be around where they can see you? Is there a way they can get a hold of you to get some?
Absolutely, and that's something that we just started here recently. And what that is right through our website, which is MikeNicholsRacing.com. You just go to that, and you're actually able to purchase T-shirts right there, actually through PayPal. And you can click on your size, and it includes your shipping, and click on there, and you use your debit card or your credit card, and buy it through that, and I get an email saying so and so wants to buy a shirt, and I've got some help from my lovely girlfriend, who's probably going to take most of the responsibility at taking those internet orders, especially as the summer goes on and the racing gets more and more hectic. But it makes things real convenient. In fact, we had some internet orders for the t-shirts, even before I had made any kind of an announcement, even through Facebook or whatever. As you see on your video right now, you can click right there and click on. You can order I think up to 3 shirts at a time, and with the different sizes and whatnot, and it's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, that's great. So we'll make sure we actually put a link on our Facebook page and our website too, so everybody can get to us and find it. So.
How is your brother doing now?
He, like I said, it's a progressive thing. what you really notice, if you haven't seen him in a long time, is his speech, and his speech is poor, and he's starting to lose some of his muscle function, especially with his left arm. But he's got a great attitude, and he's surrounded by excellent people that are willing to help him do anything. And I mean, he's still going to work every day, and he's still trying to function in the public. But like I say, the attitude, I think that goes a long ways. And he's surrounded by good people. So he's still hopeful. But you definitely see signs that the disease is definitely there. And pretty much everything you read about, unfortunately, is it's taken hold.
Yes, sir. Well, it's a terrible thing to hear about, but we want to encourage all the fans to do what we can to help and buy the T-shirts and just keep them in your prayers too. So.
Yep.
I appreciate that, guys. And also at the bottom of the website, there's a button you can click and actually donate straight to the ALS chapter towards finding a cure. If you don't want to buy a T-shirt, or you just want to help out, you click on that donate button, and that'll actually go straight to the ALS chapter. So another good deal.
Okay. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, let's talk a little bit more about Mike Nichols' racing career. How long have you been racing the IMCA stock car class?
The first year I got into a stock car was in 1998, and kind of ran a partial season in 98, 99. Got in a modified IMCA modified in 2000 and 2001. 2001, what I did mostly was I promoted a racetrack, the smartest and the dumbest thing I've ever done. And then in 2002, actually toward the fall of 2001, we raced some money shows in the stock car, and we won the Southern Challenge down in Abilene, Texas, and then sold the old car that I had. And then 2002, we thought, well, let's try to chase this points deal pretty hard. And what is it? 11. This is the 11th year. Then we've pretty much been doing the same thing every year. And yeah, I don't know why, but it's fun. I tell myself it's fun. No, it really is fun. And I'm surrounded by good people too, and we've got good sponsors. And we've had a good deal of success, and I just enjoy driving around and seeing different people around the countryside, and seeing different tracks, and of course having some success definitely makes you want to keep doing things as well. So
yeah, doesn't hurt.
And talking about success, how many wins you got in the IMCA stock car?
Well, this past Friday night, we won for the 250th time the IMCA Weekly Series win. Now, the way IMCA keeps track of the wins is basically just the ones that are in the point season that count towards your national regional points. Now, if it was after the point season's over, then those wins wouldn't count. Or like the Boone Super Nationals, if I would have ever won that, which I'm sure you've got a guy on there that has won one that I thought I was going to win, but that one wouldn't have counted towards the career total or whatever. But yeah, 250, and then with the non-sanctioned and other wins, I probably around 3 1/4, something like that. But
very impressive.
Just haven't really kept track of it, to be honest with you. Yes. Bill Martin at IMCA, he keeps a lot better track of that than we do.
Yeah, Bill tells me that you have 5 IMCA modified career wins to your name. He tells me that you're the 2000 North Central Region Rookie of the Year. 2002, 2004, 2007, and 2010 National Champion.
Bet you remember
Missouri
those
state
ones.
champion in 09.
There's probably some things that
qualifier
Bill
for the
tells you
Super
that you
National.
can't say on air too, right?
Yeah, well, that's why I'm editing through here right now. So, yeah. So qualified for the A main at Boone 8 times, and you still can't pull it off. What's the deal?
Yeah. It's pretty weak competition up there, and I don't know what the
Yeah.
deal is. But,
Yeah.
a guy you guys know real well, Mr. Schoenberger. He's he had the stars aligned for him one year when they didn't for me, and I keep thinking that it's going to work out for me someday. But if it doesn't, you guys know me well enough to know that at least we will still have a good time.
That's right. Yeah, we'll all have a good time as long as you keep that darn taser away.
Yeah.
Oh, I think actually you still got an automatic black flag at RPM Speedway coming for that deal, if I remember right.
That's probably about right. And yeah, Mr. Porter, he's got something coming for him too. So that goes both directions there.
That's right. Oh man. Well, there's one of the reasons that I like talking to you is you mentioned earlier you've promoted a racetrack, you've driven modifieds, driven the stock cars. You have a pretty realistic view of what it takes from all angles, whether it be a weekly racer, a guy chasing specials, promoting a racetrack, whatever the case may be. I think you probably are one of the guys that has one of the better feels for what the pulse of racing is, and so always value your opinion on different things, and so it's good to see you out supporting all these different racetracks here, there, and everywhere. And you mentioned a few that you're going to see this year. And do you have any kind of a tally on how many different racetracks you've actually competed at over the years?
Boy. I could be prepared for every question you were going to ask me, and I don't know that I know the answer to that. I know that we've raced in 2002. We raced at Estevan, Saskatchewan, Canada.
Wow.
I don't think that I have raced in North Dakota, but I've raced South Dakota, Minnesota. I've not raced in Wisconsin or Illinois, but I have Iowa, Nebraska, Missouri, Kansas, Louisiana, Texas, and I've raced in actually Death Valley, California. I raced a modified out there for a guy here a few years ago.
Man, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's something I've always kind of wanted to do, is put together a list of you and all the tracks I've been to and just attended and stuff like that. And I'm sure you have a lot larger list than I do too. So,
the things put together is, I get a reminder every month when I, get my mortgage payment, or what's due in the mail. And I think, for as many times as I've been claimed, just take the claim, the money that you've got in the engines that have been claimed, not to mention the diesel bill through the year pulling the race car. You take all of that money and apply that towards your house, and guys, I'd be living in a lot better house than I am.
Yeah. Well, we've had that conversation too. When we lived in the city, we made a lot more money, and still don't have anything to show for it. But it's a whole lot more fun out here in the sticks. So.
Well, earlier you guys alluded to start talking about national points and about kind of how that's figured and whatnot. And one thing that I was leading into was, The beginning of the year, obviously for the last 10 or 11 years, that's kind of been the goal, was to run, for the IMCA national points. And through the years and through the changes in the way the points are configured, I've learned to kind of, you watch different areas of the country and you can kind of tell who the guys are to watch. And last year, Jason Schoenberger, he started out so good, and you kind of knew that he was, that he might chase it a little bit. And I knew, Jason's a heck of a driver, and I knew that he had a chance to pick up some wins, and his bonus points looked pretty good from that area. And then last year, I also knew Keith White in Texas was going to be good, because they gave him that Lone Star Series, and which gave him a little bit extra bonus points, but for only being able to race 2 nights a week, I can kind of see that they, throwing that in there,
Right.
it can kind of even things out. But what they had going for them last year down south was the weather. Now, it's bad for the farmers. They had a hot, dry year, and I think Keith told me they didn't have any rainouts. So, I mean, that's a staggering statistic, especially when you think of how many rainouts we had.
Right.
And last year, or in years past, there's been some competition in national point wise up in Wisconsin, and reason being is the car count in Wisconsin is always so good. They're averaging in the 20 to 28 car range, at pretty much all of the IMCA sanctioned tracks. And last year they had so many rainouts. I don't think anyone in Wisconsin had more than 40 starts. So when you think about that, that's pretty staggering as far as the weather was concerned.
Right.
Now, this year, there's some things going on that Keith White is he's got some competition down there. J.C. Howell is a good runner, and it looks like he's got a little competition there. And not only that, but they dropped the IMCA stock cars at his Friday night track, so he's not going to get the nights in. He's still going to be eligible for the bonus points with the Lone Star Series, and with the Saturday night track, the car count's been real good, but he's not going to get the nights in order to get the good 30 finishes, and I think that's what's going to hurt him. Now, Wisconsin, depending upon how many nights they get in there, what I'm looking at is Brandon Sharapata, who hasn't raced for national points in years past, but he's got some things going for him, I think, this year, and he's off to a good start. I think Brandon's going to be and I know him because I've raced with him, for a number of years. He's a heck of a race car driver, number one, and number two, he's smooth and he's clean, and I know that he's got the ability to win some races, so he's going to be definitely a tough guy to at the end of the year when it comes to time to figure up the points. So
Yeah.
hopefully I am right in there with him, but
Yeah.
because of this bonus points, a guy really can't plan on anything, and once you get to the end of the year, you really got to have your track championships line up for you, and a guy can go out and win 40 races, as David Murray did a few years ago. But the problem is you have to have some car count, and you have to have the track championships in front of you, and that can all change, even season championship night. And you go out and you break, and the guy that's 15 points behind wins, and all of a sudden you lose everything that you worked for the entire year. So definitely adds the wow or wild card factor into it.
That is true. Man, we could. There's even more to it than what I had ever thought of there with the weather aspect. I'd never really thought of that part of it. One thing I wanted to ask you about, I noticed there's a new series in like southern Minnesota area. Is that also a bonus point series? have you seen that?
I have, and that does. While that does seem appealing, I think they're going to have some cars follow that, and I think a guy has the potential at gaining some bonus points there. The negative thing, as far as the schedules are concerned, is really what they did was they, geographically the schedules are lined up, but a guy from, if you're trying to run at a track in Nebraska and a track in Minnesota and a track in Iowa, let's say, that doesn't work scheduling to try and win,
Right.
2 or 3 track championships. So.
Yeah. Well, I just, I don't know. I guess I don't want to seem negative about the system, if you want to say that, but, I guess you think of IMCA racing as supporting the weekly racer and the weekly racetrack promoter, and sometimes you wonder if some of these series are kind of distracting from that a little bit. Not that I have any problem with the series, but if you're trying to attract the guys chasing the points and the bonus points, are you trying to attract them away from their weekly track and weekly points and that, what's your opinion on that?
They're geographically, there's a few different things, out in your guys' neighborhood. You've got a couple of BST modified series. Now they've added the stock cars to that, and that's another thing that I've looked at. And there again, you have you have a schedule that runs on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays throughout the summer, and basically it's tough to align that with any of your other tracks. Now, financially, if a guy doesn't have aspirations of winning points, national points, and wants to chase a series per se, financially a guy could probably do that, and if that's what he was going to concentrate on. But taking away from other tracks, no, I don't think so. And as things get tougher and tougher, I think it's actually more important to for these tracks to work together, and like those tracks in Minnesota, working together and getting guys to travel from one track to the other, because basically, as things progress, I got a feeling that we're going to see it tougher and tougher for tracks to make it. So you're going to need to they're going to need to sell their program to the racers and to their fans a lot more than they ever have before.
Definitely. Man, we could we could talk about this all night. I'm behind here with the things that we've fallen off here. We're going to go and talk to BSB a little bit about their products, and you're more than welcome to stick around for that. But I would like to ask you to, we're showing your sponsors here on the screen if you're not seeing that, but go ahead and just thank your sponsors and the guys that help you. I know with the kind of schedule that you run, probably one of the hardest things is finding loyal help that can have the flexibility to travel with you and do what you guys do. So go ahead and thank those guys, and then we'll run off here.
Oh, no, and no doubt, exactly what you're saying is true, and something that your average fan or spectator wouldn't understand. And that's that, when you show up at the racetrack, the car just doesn't magically have itself ready to go. And, I've got, a core group of guys. Everybody's, I would say everybody is there some of the time. And, I've got a couple guys that are there more than others. This year, Sterling Sorensen, as you'll see, Sterling is probably going to be going with to the majority of the races. Justin, who's been my crew chief for 4 or 5 years. Justin is he's probably going to help when we run locally. Justin, I think a lot of it, he's kind of gotten burned out on the traveling, but more importantly than going to the track, a lot of these guys are there in the shop, getting the car ready and mounting tires and getting the trailer ready to go, and I mean stuff that takes time, and when you're gone, a day or two at a time, these things got to be done in advance, and like I say, it's stuff that you don't think about, but from a guy that's racing every week, you gotta have this stuff done, and it's just overwhelming to try and do it by yourself. And Justin, Sterling, Josh, you should keep cooking down there because I don't want to miss anybody. Mike Onan, in fact, he was out there tonight. Brian Dotzler, Axel Peterson, Stan Nichols, Chris Gall, my girlfriend Anita Dargy, who's not on there yet, and the other one that's not on there yet is Mike Dirks. Mike's from Aurora, Nebraska, and Mike, actually, I met him through work, and Mike's been helping me at the track, basically when I race out that direction, and he's a huge help. He helps Kyle Burke on his late model and has for a number of years. And so with that experience, he's a good guy, and he brings totally new ideas to the stock car that we would never even think about. Suspension wise is, he's probably learned as much from us as what we've learned from him, but is grinding tires and that kind of stuff. Hearing a new perspective on that, it's just amazing. So yeah, I've got a great group of guys, and as you were clicking on the sponsors, a great group of sponsors there, and I think I got everything in line to do my job. So now I just got to go out and do it.
Good deal. Well, Mike, appreciate your time, having you on the show tonight. It's been fun. We'll certainly do it again later on in the season and see how that points battle is going, and maybe you can shed some light on some of the other interesting things going on in the different points battles and the different classes throughout the IMCA racing. So
Yep, I was going to say, just give me a little bit of a heads up on that. And, and one other thing, and I know you guys got some other things to do, but one other thing that IMCA did this year, and if you haven't clicked on imca.com recently, go on there. Now under the points, they actually have the track points that they update.
Yeah.
And that's going to help. I wish they'd have done that years ago, and I know they do too, but that's going to help people kind of figure out their car count averages and which tracks a guy's eligible to win the bonus points from. So good deal. Hopefully moving forward, IMCA and the point system will make more sense to everybody, and makes it more exciting for everybody.
Definitely. Now, if we could just make a couple more steps with them and have them actually post the average car counts and the number of wins a person has, that'd be even better for simple-minded folks like myself.
Yeah, well, unless you have an Excel spreadsheet that is set up to do that, like I have for the last 5 or 6 years, Matt. Yeah, that's something that I've just adjusted to do, and I call Virginia at IMCA about every week, and I verify my numbers with her numbers, and it's basically just it's become part of the weekly maintenance.
Oh man. All right. Well, we've come to the end of the show, so Mike, I appreciate your time again, and we'll talk to you again in a few months, and hopefully see you at the track before too long. So good luck this weekend.
Sounds great, guys. Hey, I appreciate Matt, Justin. I appreciate everything, and hopefully I will talk with you and have some better insight, and hopefully I'm one of those guys that we're talking about in the points.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right. With all the cutouts and things, we haven't had time to mention our sponsors. We'll go ahead and try to call call Jay at BSB, and in the meantime, I'll talk a little bit about the rest of our sponsors. I did get a chance earlier to talk to you about Engine Quest. We've also got Extreme Motorsports for all your parts needs at the track at Salina and Thunder Hill. Those are the guys. As well as if you're a Southwest Kansas racer needing something local. Those guys have a stocked shop down there in Great Bend. BMS Modifieds, if you're in the Belleville area and need parts, they're your guys. They also stock fuel, of course, and tires and all that good stuff. And building chassis manufacturer of the year for the past several years here. And Heartland VP Racing Fuels, they have several local dealers as well, so you can look them up. They also sell fuel at the track at Wakeeney and Hayes, and not real sure where all you'll see those guys, but they will be around. So BSB Manufacturing, we're trying to get a hold of Jay here, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about some suspension parts. The shocks and the springs and the brake pads is the combination that they're putting together for people's specific driving style to help them hook it up. And getting the power to the ground is the key to getting to the front of the racetrack. So.
We're sorry. Your call cannot be...
I don't know which number you gave me. I didn't know you had any 3 numbers here to call.
Yeah. There should be a home number there.
I tried that one. Nobody answered.
Well, we'll try a cell phone then.
Yeah. Right here.
Sorry about that, folks, but BSB is also... they manufacture a lot of the other suspension components, bird cages, different types of mounts and that kind of thing for the suspensions that supply several of the chassis builders. So you're buying a race car, you may be buying the BSB parts as well. For some reason, we are not having much luck getting
maybe I see it's the type
phone
here.
Going here.
Yeah, it's the person typing, I think.
That could be it.
Yeah, maybe not.
Well, doesn't seem to be working out. Go over and see if we've got any more comments about the way things are. PB says the Boone party wouldn't be the same without Mike. Mike's party at Boone is probably more successful than his racing there by far, but Dots always brings his DJ equipment out, and they've got music, and they got beanbag toss and adult beverages and everything else you can think of. I'm not sure. Big Johnson said there's lots of rumors going, but he didn't expand on that idea, so I'm not sure what that's all about. Opinions on the SportMod race. JDG says, my opinion is that drivers were impatient. Driving was like it was the last lap. Too many guys trying to get to the front on the first lap. Be patient, boys. Lots of laps to get to the front.
This is Jay. Leave a message and I'll call you back.
We may have missed Jay tonight.
Yeah. We ran a little longer than normal. So.
I told him I'd call him earlier, but didn't get there. So maybe try his home number one more time, and if that doesn't work out, then I've told you most of what I know about BSB, and we'll continue to have these guys on the show, and we can talk to Jay another night if we can't get him on here, but we'll try it one more time.
Hello, no one is available.
Well, I guess we'll go ahead and sign off for the night
Well,
then.
we did need to do our picks and our.
Oh, yeah.
Look, almost try to skip that again.
I think, unfortunately, I'm not going to be around for racing, but looking at the forecast, it looks to me like probably the best chance of pulling off a race is going to be Hayes, and I'm assuming that's your plan to
Yeah, I
go to
should
Hayes.
be
So
there in Hayes. So.
let's pick the modified feature at
Yeah.
RPM Speedway this week.
Gosh. All right, I'll let you go first since I did beat you again.
Beat me again.
Again.
Well, I'm going to take the 97M, even though he's going to be, he should have a top point average there, so he's going to start deep in the field, but I think he's going to have something for him, always solid, and I guess I'm assuming that he's going to be there. I saw pictures of him and Bragg out fishing, so
Yeah.
I guess we have to hope that they're doing their vacationing during the week and racing on the weekends.
Yeah, that's normally how he does it. Not to say that they won't do it the other way sometimes too. So, well, I think I might have to go with Jason Schoenberg if he's not out on the lake with his boat.
Man, you are going out on a limb that he'll actually show up this time.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. So, but he should maybe starting a little closer up to the front with not being finished in the last race. So maybe that'll work out for me. So
He did finish the last race, didn't he?
yeah,
Just not well.
I mean he did. I thought
It was the first race of the season he
They
finished, I
Okay.
think.
Yeah, I might get that wrong. So
But still, always a good pick. Normally at Hayes, especially as the season goes
Yeah.
on. But go ahead, and put some faith in him here early in the season and see what we get.
yeah,
So hopefully, maybe this week we'll find time to figure out what our picks have been and tally up
Yep,
some
okay.
points. And
keep track of that a little better.
so it'll be easier once we kind of get established who's going to show at what track too. So we may have to cut some of those off just to make it fair that people actually did show up. So,
Yeah.
but well, we appreciate you guys tuning into the show, and we'll see you again next Thursday, same time, same place, here on Dirt Track Central. I'm Matt Kovacic.
And I'm Justin Hopp. See you next week.